Do you have a lot on your plate right now before summer? If so, you're in good company with many others. I'm David Stiernholm, and this week's episode is about something you can do now to have a more relaxing vacation later. But first, poor structure makes you more stressed and ruins your sleep. Everything just keeps happening, one thing after another, and you don't feel like you are in control. In my talks, I show how you can take command of your work situation with good structure and make your time stretch further. Book a talk by me about working in a structured way for your next meeting. Email me at david@stiernholm.com and I'll send you a quote immediately. Summer is approaching here in the Northern Hemisphere, and with it, a long or short vacation for most of us. During my time off, I want to be active and do fun things while also disconnecting from work. I wouldn't be surprised if you feel the same way. After all, not having to think about work when you're off gives you better recovery, as indicated by Sonnentag and Fritz's 27 study that I'll link to in the show notes, among many others. However, having unfinished tasks lingering in the back of your mind when you're not actually working prevents you from slowing down and completely unwinding. These are the loose ends that you keep thinking about over and over again, even though you're off, without really having any chance to do anything about them, because you're on vacation. Of course, they can be neglected commitments in the form of "I'll get back to you" promises you've casually made, but they can also be ideas you want to move forward with, preparations for the coming autumn, things you had hoped to finish in the first quarter but never found the time for, and all sorts of other matters. Now, while there are probably still a few weeks left before your vacation, is an excellent time to start tying up those loose ends so you can feel more truly off when the time comes. Do this. First, get rid of everything that could demand your attention for 10 minutes so you can think calmly and clearly. Close email and chat, shut the door if you have one, and turn away from anything you might accidentally see that could make you think about something else. Then, jot down on a piece of paper or in an app everything that comes to mind that feels unresolved and perhaps even irritates you a little. These are your loose ends. Some you'll manage before summer, others you won't. Both are perfectly okay. For each loose end, create a specific task that describes what you can do to tie it up or confirm that it already exists as a task on your list. If you already realize that you won't be able to finish it completely before your vacation, create 2 tasks instead, one representing what you can reasonably accomplish before your time off, and one representing the next step you'll take when you return to work. Label these loose-end tasks in a way that lets you distinguish them from all your other tasks. In my task manager, I use a label, but in your tool, a category or hashtag may work better. If you can see all your loose ends in one place, you can also clearly see how you're steadily working through them and that they're all tied up when you go on vacation. Over the coming period, decide to complete at least one loose-end task per day so that you deal with them well in advance and at a steady pace. Because if you identify the loose ends you need to tie up to disconnect from work during your vacation, you can get more recovery from your time off than you otherwise would. Even if the entire loose end is not fully resolved and you have created 2 tasks instead of 1, the fact that you make some progress before your vacation and know what you will do next when you return will make it easier to let it go despite it not being finished. What tricks do you use to tie up loose ends before taking time off? Write to me at david@stiernholm.com and tell me. I'm curious to hear what works for you. Thanks for today and see you again next week.